Why men act distant when they're falling for you. Have you ever felt a wave of confusion when the man who seemed so into you suddenly pulls back? One day he's texting you nonstop, making plans, and giving you all the attention you could ask for. And the next, he's distant, unresponsive, or seems to be avoiding you altogether. It's frustrating, isn't it? Your mind starts spinning with questions. Did I do something wrong? Is he losing interest? Or, is something deeper happening here? What if his retreat isn't a rejection at all, but a reflection of just how much he's starting to care? The truth is, when men fall for someone, it can stir up a storm of emotions they're not used to dealing with. Their behavior often changes, not because they don't like you, but because they're wrestling with feelings they might not fully understand or know how to handle. Society has long conditioned men to hide vulnerability, keep their emotions in check, and maintain a sense of control. But falling for someone shakes up that foundation, leaving them feeling exposed and unsure of how to proceed. In this video, we'll explore 10 fascinating psychological reasons why men act distant just when they're falling for you. These insights will help you decode his behavior, see the signs of genuine affection hiding beneath the distance, and navigate these moments with confidence and patience. Stick around, because by the end, you'll not only understand his actions but also know how to strengthen the connection during these confusing times. Let's get started. 1. Fear of vulnerability. When a man starts developing strong feelings, he's faced with the fear of vulnerability. Vulnerability means exposing emotions, admitting weakness, and opening himself up to potential pain. For many men, this is a terrifying prospect, especially if they've been hurt before. Society often conditions men to equate vulnerability with weakness, making it harder for them to embrace their emotions openly. Instead of leaning in, they might instinctively pull back, creating an emotional barrier to protect themselves. This retreat doesn't mean he's uninterested. It's a defense mechanism. He's navigating unfamiliar territory, and the deeper his feelings grow, the stronger his urge to shield himself becomes. The internal conflict between wanting to connect and the fear of getting hurt leads to seemingly contradictory behaviors. One day, he's all in, and the next, he's emotionally distant. Understanding this dynamic can help you approach the situation with compassion. Give him space to process his emotions without assuming the worst. Show him that vulnerability isn't something to fear but a pathway to deeper intimacy. The more secure he feels in the relationship, the more likely he'll let his guard down and embrace his feelings fully. 2. Overthinking his actions. Falling for someone makes men hyper-aware of their actions. They start overthinking everything, from the way they text to how they interact with you. He might worry about coming on too strong, saying the wrong thing, or doing something that could jeopardize the connection. This overthinking stems from a fear of rejection and a desire to make everything perfect. Ironically, this pressure to get it right can cause him to pull back and act distant. Imagine a man analyzing every word he types in a text message. He drafts, deletes, rewrites, and then decides not to send it at all because he's overthinking how you'll interpret it. This mental tug-of-war can be exhausting, leading him to retreat temporarily to avoid the pressure of making mistakes. From your perspective, his withdrawal might look like indifference, but in reality, it's his way of trying not to ruin things. Recognizing this behavior can help you respond with patience. Instead of assuming he's losing interest, give him time to work through his thoughts. Encouraging open communication and showing that you value authenticity over perfection can help him feel more comfortable expressing himself without fear. 3. Struggles with emotional regulation. Emotions can hit hard when a man starts falling for someone, and not all men are equipped to handle the whirlwind of feelings that come with it. Many men are less comfortable openly discussing or even identifying their emotions compared to women. As a result, they might withdraw temporarily to process what they're experiencing internally. Imagine a man who's suddenly overwhelmed by the intensity of his feelings. He's never felt this way before, and he doesn't know how to navigate the emotional storm. His withdrawal isn't about uncertainty, it's about finding balance and recalibrating his emotions. During this time, he might appear distant or distracted, but it's not a sign of disinterest. He's simply taking the time to understand his feelings and align them with his actions. Psychologists suggest that men's discomfort with emotions often stems from societal conditioning that discourages emotional vulnerability. This internalized discomfort can make them retreat as they sort through their thoughts privately. While it may take longer than expected, understanding his need for space can help you navigate this period with patience and empathy. 4. Testing the depth of the connection. Sometimes, a man creates emotional space as a way to test the depth of the connection. This isn't a conscious game but a subconscious evaluation of the relationship's strength. He may want to see how you respond to his absence. Will you miss him, reach out, or show signs of investment? This is his way of seeking reassurance that the bond is mutual and meaningful. Imagine he's pulling away for a few days, and during that time, he's carefully observing your actions. If you respond with patience and understanding, it reinforces his confidence in the relationship. On the other hand, if he senses indifference, it might confirm his fears and push him further into his shell. This dynamic isn't about manipulation but about understanding the mutuality of feelings. For many men, testing the waters helps them feel secure in their emotional investment. By recognizing this, you can approach the situation with empathy, knowing his distance is his way of seeking clarity rather than rejecting the connection. 5. Striving for independence. Falling for someone can sometimes feel like a threat to a man's independence. Men often place great value on their autonomy, and deepening emotional connections might trigger fears of losing that sense of control over their lives. As his feelings for you grow, he might unconsciously distance himself to reassert his individuality and maintain a balance between his emotions and his personal freedom. This behavior isn't about rejecting you or the relationship, it's his way of ensuring that he doesn't lose sight of himself in the process of falling for someone. Society conditions men to equate independence with strength, so when emotional attachments grow stronger, they can feel like their core identity is being challenged. This might result in moments of withdrawal as he works to reconcile his emotions with his need for autonomy. The key here is to give him the space he needs without taking it personally. Recognize that his moments of distance are part of his effort to maintain balance in his life. Reassure him, not with words but through your actions, that the relationship doesn't threaten his independence but complements it. By supporting him and maintaining his individuality, you create a stronger foundation for the connection. 6. Fear of expectations. As feelings deepen, the fear of not meeting expectations can weigh heavily on a man's mind. He might worry about living up to what he perceives as your standards or about falling short of what the relationship requires. This fear often stems from societal conditioning, where men are expected to be providers, protectors, and problem solvers in relationships. The pressure to fulfill these roles can feel overwhelming. When faced with these internalized expectations, he might pull back, not because he doesn't care, but because he's trying to figure out how to navigate the relationship without failing. His withdrawal might seem like a lack of interest, but it's actually his way of managing the pressure he feels. During these times, he's likely overanalyzing every action and decision, trying to ensure he doesn't make mistakes that could jeopardize the connection. To navigate this, approach the relationship with empathy and understanding. Show him that you value him for who he is, not for what he can do or provide. By reducing the pressure and focusing on genuine connection, you can help him feel more secure in the relationship and more confident in his ability to meet expectations without fear. 7. Unresolved past trauma. A man with unresolved past trauma, such as heartbreak or betrayal, might struggle to fully open up when he begins falling for someone new. These experiences can create deep-seated fears of being hurt again, leading him to unconsciously erect emotional barriers. His withdrawal during moments of vulnerability is his way of protecting himself from potential pain. Even if he genuinely cares for you, the echoes of his past can make him hesitate to dive fully into the relationship. Trauma can manifest in subtle ways, such as avoiding deeper conversations, hesitating to commit, or retreating emotionally when things get serious. These behaviors aren't a reflection of his feelings for you but rather of the emotional scars he carries. The best way to approach this is with patience and understanding. Give him the space to heal and build trust at his own pace. Avoid pushing him to confront his past before he's ready. Instead, focus on creating a safe and supportive environment where he feels comfortable being vulnerable. Over time, this can help him overcome his fears and fully embrace the relationship. 8. Feeling unworthy of the connection. When a man admires you deeply, he might start to feel unworthy of the connection. He may question whether he's good enough for you, whether he measures up to your expectations, or whether you'd be happier with someone else. These feelings of inadequacy can lead him to withdraw, not because he doesn't care, but because he's struggling with his own self-doubt. This internal battle often goes unspoken, but it can manifest as emotional distance. He might pull away to avoid the discomfort of feeling like he's not enough. In his mind, he's protecting himself and you from potential disappointment. However, this distance isn't a reflection of his true feelings, it's a defense mechanism born out of insecurity. Reassuring him through consistent actions and affirming words can help him feel more confident in the connection. Let him know that you appreciate him for who he is, not for what he thinks he has to be. Over time, this can help him overcome his self-doubt and embrace the relationship fully. 9. Wanting to maintain mystery. Some men worry that revealing too much, too soon, could diminish the excitement of the relationship. By creating emotional distance, they attempt to maintain a sense of mystery and avoid overwhelming you with their feelings. This isn't about playing games, it's about pacing the relationship so that it feels organic and exciting. Attraction often thrives on curiosity, and some men instinctively understand this dynamic. By holding back, he's giving you the chance to think about him more and miss him when he's not around. This balance of closeness and distance keeps the relationship feeling fresh and intriguing. While this approach can be confusing, understanding it can help you navigate the dynamic with confidence. Show appreciation for the moments of closeness while allowing the space he needs to maintain his sense of mystery. This balance can strengthen the bond and keep the relationship exciting as it progresses. 10. Protecting his masculinity. Men are often taught to associate masculinity with emotional control and stoicism. Falling for someone challenges these deeply ingrained notions, making them feel vulnerable in ways they may not be accustomed to. To counteract this, a man might act distant as a way of reasserting his emotional composure and maintaining his sense of masculinity. This behavior isn't about rejecting you, it's about navigating an internal struggle between his emotions and societal expectations. He might fear that being too open with his feelings could make him appear weak or less masculine. His distance is his way of protecting his image while trying to figure out how to embrace his emotions without compromising his identity. Recognizing this can help you approach the situation with empathy. Show him that vulnerability isn't a weakness but a strength, and create a safe space for him to express his feelings. By doing so, you can help him reconcile his emotions with his sense of self, paving the way for a deeper and more meaningful connection. Understanding why men act distant when they're falling for you can transform confusion into clarity. Each reason we've explored sheds light on the complex emotions men experience during this vulnerable phase. By approaching these moments with patience, empathy, and understanding, you can strengthen your connection and navigate the relationship with confidence. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more relationship tips and psychological insights. Thank you for watching.